All right, everyone, welcome back to the Healthy Body Podcast. My name is Brianna Wilkerson, your host, and today we're continuing on our talk around stress and sleep and different ways to kind of help ourselves stress less and sleep more. And I have Christina Christian on with me today, who's a friend, and also just really when I was thinking about someone to kind of talk on this topic around particularly meditation, I really thought of her. And so thank you so much for joining us today, Christina.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So can you just maybe take a moment to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do, your day job, your night job. And just then after that, we can kind of talk a little bit about your journey with yoga, your journey with meditation, and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like Brianna said, my name is Christina Christian. I am a certified yoga instructor. But my day job is that I work for the government. So I'm a normal person like everyone else, just trying to relieve stress in any way that I can.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about kind of your journey in how you started with, yoga and how you started with meditation.
Well, I started with yoga pretty young, like in my teens. I just went to a class, ended up loving it, and continued and thought that this is definitely something that I want to incorporate in my lifestyle. And it got to the place where I decided that I really wanted to share it with others. So I went away and got trained to teach.
Awesome. So how's it been since? Like, what are some of the things you do as a teacher, or the different methods of yoga, or how's it been teaching people how to do it?
So my degree is actually in psychology. And so I use a lot of like trauma-informed yoga, stress relief yoga, but really integrating the mind and the body a little bit further than what you would have gotten with your general yoga training.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell us a little bit about that. So what would that, give us an example of how you would do the mind-body connection in a class, like an exercise or something?
It's just how I talk through the poses. Like I like to get to hear what my clients are going through. So I kind of talk to them before, hear what's going on with them, what's hurting physically or mentally, and then kind of talking through that and journeying through that through the class and through each pose.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing, because I think what you're, you talked a little bit about trauma too, and what I know, and you probably know a lot more about this as a psychologist, is that often we hide trauma physically as well in our bodies. And so by doing maybe certain poses, it kind of helps release that.
Exactly. Yes.
Release that pain. That's powerful. So do you regularly teach, you do one-on-one clients? Do you tend to do classes? How do you go about doing that?
So I do classes. I'm doing one for the government now through their wellness initiative. And I also teach at a gym in Savannah, Universal Fitness. So I teach 2 classes a week at the moment.
Yeah. I didn't realize you were all the way in Savannah for it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not all the way in Savannah. Savannah's not that far, but for some reason I was thinking it was World Gym. Anyways. Awesome. And so then tell us a little bit about meditation. What is meditation? There's probably tons of different forms, but for those listening that maybe have tried meditation or would like to use meditation in particular as a stress reliever, help with sleep, how can they get started? So tell us a little bit about that.
So meditation has kind of become like a buzzword. Like it's the thing to do. Everybody wants to do it because everybody wants to chill out and calm down. But it's a lot harder than people imagine. And I think it's because we're in a day and age where we're just constantly going. Our bodies are always wound up, very hard to calm down. We need drugs and alcohol to actually get our nervous system to calm down because they're so aroused. And so people are thinking about meditation, but what I have learned from my meditation classes is that not everyone is ready to jump right into that because our nervous systems are so frazzled. I invite them to try the yoga class first because I do incorporate a little bit of meditation in there. So it's like the walking before the running. Yeah, to get them used to their awareness of their mind and body. So yoga is actually the physical discipline which prepares the mind and the body for meditation. So it's good to try a yoga class first.
I never thought about it that way. The walking before running. So the physical preparation to get your mind ready. And I love what you talked about with the nervous system, because I know we've done a class on this, and this is something I'll talk about in the challenge I'm doing. And I talked about in my oils class, just and I'll tell a personal story too on this podcast. I think I just said to you earlier, I tried to go to bed earlier on one of these days ago, and it was hard because I know my mind and my nervous system I was very stimulated. So it was actually really hard to say, hey, go to bed. What I really needed to do, yes, I use oils, but it's more than oils are one solution, but you just really need to get your mind and your body in a state to rest and to be calm. You can't just tell it what to do. It's smart. So it's already working in all these ways. And so that's really interesting that you talked about that. So I even know with yoga, there are so many types. Would you recommend, if someone is just very stressed out or needing to rest before meditation, would you recommend a certain type of yoga practice before when they're getting started?
Absolutely. If sleep is the concern, well, the first thing, if you're having trouble sleeping, you want to make sure that you are exercising, getting some exercise in, however that is. That might just be going for a walk, doing a little aerobics class, just something to get the hormones going. And then to address the sleep issue, there's restorative yoga, which works on restoring the nervous system. So that's good as well. And then I like to do a meditation as a part of, actually it's a pranayama, which is a breathing exercise, but I use it as meditation. And it's called the humming bee breath. And that's perfect for insomnia as well. And then yoga nidra is actually called yogic sleep. And it helps by bringing your mind is aroused and it's like feeling like really up there and hard to come down. And so yoga nidra just kind of walks your mind through the steps to come down to an unconscious state where you're ready to go to sleep. So those three are perfect for persons who are trying to get some extra sleep or suffering with insomnia.
Yeah. And do you know of, you doing it for sure, but say if people are listening or not, Cayman, do you know of any particular resources online that you really would recommend for people to get started with these, or do you recommend them actually going to a class?
There's lots of videos online these days. Like on YouTube, you can just basically look up yoga nidra or restorative yoga, and you should be able to find tons of videos, and then you just go with the one you like the best.
Awesome. All right, so that's around yoga. So say if people have been doing yoga, I guess you said one meditation, the humming bee one, that one, I think we've done that one together before. It's a lot more challenging than people think, but it really does calm your nervous system down. Are there any other simple meditations that you would recommend people starting with?
Okay. For sleep?
For both stress and sleep, yeah.
So some of the ones that I like to do personally is walking meditation. And it's basically just like going for a walk, except you're intentionally walking really slowly, intentionally placing one foot after the other on the ground, being aware of what's around you. Hopefully, it's some trees and birds and something nice like that that you can focus on. Because then it becomes like a journey through your emotions as you're going through this walking meditation. I like to do that during the day sometimes. And for stress, stress really attacks our emotions. So emotional meditations like laughing meditation, just laughing as hard as you can for as long as you can, getting your joy tank filled, and crying meditation. Sometimes we're super stressed out, not even getting the opportunity to pay attention to our emotions. We might be feeling hurt and sad and then not expressing that. So just getting some time, a space to yourself and crying it out. Thinking about, so what makes something meditation is that you're being intentional about it and you're aware of your surroundings, what's going on inside of you, why you're doing what you're doing, and then it becomes a meditation.
Yeah, that's powerful. I love that you said, simple, like walking, laughing, crying. It's actually simple things we do in everyday life, but maybe when we're so overwhelmed, we're not giving ourselves the space to do that. So like for my example, I know that I was a little stressed out. And so I did cry a little bit. I was like, this isn't fair. I'm trying to sleep. So I cried it out and I went to sleep. But simple things that we do in everyday life that are very much connected to our emotions, and that I think you're right in that we don't spend enough time, especially when we're really busy, to be aware, to connect to what we're feeling and what we're thinking. We say, oh, I'll deal with that later, and then we never do. Yeah. Or it just comes crashing down on us and we feel it. We can't do anything else. So, well, these are really great. So any other thoughts or pieces of encouragement or tips when it comes to yoga or when it comes to meditation that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, I would say to people, if you're really interested, don't be afraid to go to a yoga class. And if you've tried it before but felt like maybe you weren't up to par with the other people who are in the room, think about it. It's your time. It's for you. So yoga is no more intimidating than anything else we do in life, especially physical exercise. It's probably one of the best things we can do for ourselves. So don't be afraid to love yourself and go to a yoga class.
I love it. Don't be afraid to love yourself. Because I think what you're saying is true. Actually, what makes slower exercises like yoga harder, I think, for a lot of us is that we have to be still a lot. And we can't just keep going, which, the stuff like walking, running, all that sort of stuff is good for us and our nervous system to get all that out. But, we need to go more into that rest and digest part of our nervous system that restores. Every time I talk to you, I'm like, man, I need to do more stuff like this too. It's just a good reminder, we were talking about earlier, like, have we slept much this last couple weeks just being busy and overwhelmed? But doing stuff like this, just say, oh, wow, yeah, I need to get back to this. And that's the whole point. We're not trying to shame anyone if they're not doing anything. It's just like a helpful reminder to love yourself by going to yoga. All right. Well, if people wanted to just get to know you more or learn more about what you do, where can they find you on the internet or social media?
Okay. So the best place to find me right now is on Facebook. It's under Pink Lotus Yoga Cayman, and you should be able to find it there.
Awesome. You're on Insta too, but Facebook and Insta under the same handle, I think, too, right?
Yeah. Also on Instagram, same.
Yeah. I know I'm more of a Facebook person too, though. People would think the opposite, but anyways, both are awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us. I know that I feel personally a little bit more inspired to just meditate. And two, and I think I love how you described it, it's just being aware, being intentional and aware of what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and what we're doing, and being grounded, you know, in that. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. And for those listening, be sure, this is going to air during the Stress and Sleep Challenge, but be sure to check out the Stress and Sleep Challenge at madewell345.com/stress and sleep, and join us as we talk about stuff like meditation and anything else to help you with stress and sleep. So thank you so much, Christina, for joining us.
Thank you too for having me.
All right. See you all later. Bye.